I'd like to welcome members, staff, and guests to this meeting of the Standing Committee on Alberta's Economic Future. My name is Rod Loyola, MLA for Edmonton-Ellerslie, and chairing the meeting for now until our wonderful MLA from Lac St. Anne, Parkland, gets here. I'd like to ask the members and those joining the committee at the table to introduce themselves for the record. We'll start here to my right.
Justin Wright, MLA, Cypress Medicinet.
MLA Chantal DeYoung, Chestermere Strathmore.
Tanny Yao, Fort McMurray Wood, Buffalo.
Scott Sear, Bonneville, Cold Lake, St. Paul.
Jason Steffen, Red Deer South.
Sarah El Maliki, Banff, Kananaskis.
Permeet Singh Bhuparai, Calgary Falcon Ridge.
Rhiannon Hoyle, Edmonton South. You just turned it off. Push it.
Hi, this Trafton Koenig Parliamentary Council Office.
Aaron Roth, Committee Clerk.
A few housekeeping items before we turn to the business at hand. Please note that the microphones are operated by Hansard, so members do not need to turn them on and off. Committee proceedings are being live streamed on the internet and broadcast on Alberta Assembly TV. Please set your cell phones and other devices to silent for the duration of the meeting. Before proceeding further, as this is the first meeting of this committee for the 31st Legislature, I would like to discuss remote participation in committee meetings. As many of you know, Section 6 of the Legislative Assembly Act permits participation in a committee by means of telephone or other communication facilities that permit all members participating in the meeting to hear each other if all members of the committee consent. Our committee meeting rooms are equipped to facilitate meetings participation by telephone and video conference. If this is something we want to permit, then this committee may wish to pass a motion which needs to be passed unanimously. To approve remote participation by members for the duration of the legislature, I would note such a motion would not preclude the committee from determining that in-person attendance at specific meetings is required. In those cases, a motion would be considered at the end of a particular meeting requesting the attendance in person of members at a subsequent meeting. So, would a member like to move the following motion? And I'll read it out first, then we'll have you. So that the Standing Committee on Alberta's Economic Future consent for the purpose of Section 6 of the Legislative Assembly Act to remote participation by any member in the committee's meeting held at the designated committee meeting rooms in the Queen Elizabeth II building during the 31st legislature unless the committee carries a motion in advance of a meeting that remote participation of members is not permitted at that motion. Move. Okay. All in favor? Oh, pardon me. We have to have discussion, so, yeah. Although this is pretty... No comments? Everyone good? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? And I'll just double check with our... Oh, right, technically you can't vote yet. Okay. Okay, carried unanimously. Perfect, thank you, everyone. Great work. We're getting off to a great start here. Awesome. Okay. Okay. He's here. Okay. I'll let him take the seat now.
With that settled, I'd like to draw everyone's attention to the draft meeting agenda. Would anyone like to propose any amendments to approve the agenda? Anyone? Perfect. All in favor? Aye. Any discussion? Perfect. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. So firstly, thank you very much, everybody. I apologize, I'm late. It took a normal commute of an hour to about an hour and a half due to inclement weather conditions. So appreciate Member Leola for standing in here quickly. Really appreciate that. Like other committees of the Assembly, Standing Committee on the Alberta's Economic Future operates based on instructions from the Assembly contained in specific resolutions by rules provided for the Standing Committee members or the established practice. Under the standing orders, the committee has a mandate to consider subjects related to advanced education, agriculture and irrigation, arts, culture and status, women, immigration, multiculturalism, infrastructure, jobs, economy and trade, technology and innovation, tourism and sport. The committee is supposed to support it in its work by the nonpartisan staff of the Legislative Office, Trafton Koning, Senior Parliamentary Counsel, Aaron Roth, Committee Clerk, and both have been assigned to support the committee, and of course, any other staff that may be required. Legislative Assembly office branches who support our meetings are including Research Committee Services, Communications, Legislative Assembly, Security Services, Venue Services, Alberta Hansard, and ITS and Broadcasting. Temporary substitutions. Standing Order 56 2.1 to 2.4 outlines the process for the substitution of chairs, deputy chairs, and committee members. For the committee substitution notice, the templates are available in our house for members to use, or you may use your draft your own notice. Please note that it's the responsibility of the original committee member to ensure that substitution member is prepared for the meeting and has the appropriate materials. And we just saw that in motion here a little bit earlier. Should the original committee member participate in the meeting, then substitution is no longer in effect. Members who are not committee members or official substitutes may attend and participate in the committee meetings. However, they may not vote on any of the motions. Should the proceedings move to in camera, these members would be required specific consent of the committee to remain in attendance. If you or your staff have any questions about the substitution process, I would encourage you to follow up with the committee clerks. Any question, discussion? I'm still out of breath from running up the stairs. Recorded votes. After a vote on the motion has been completed, a committee member may request a recorded vote. The process for the recorded vote is in a committee similar to the process in the division in the House, except we're not going to stand up. I'll first ask those in the room who are in favor of the motion to raise their hands, and then the committee clerk will call the names of those who have raised their hands and record the votes. We will then follow the same process those are against those motions. If we have remote participants, they'll be asked to turn on their cameras. If they wish to vote, the committee clerk will call their names, and the members should indicate how they would like to vote. I will then ask for one final time for all committee members who wish to have votes to be done so by the committee clerk, and will record any of the votes finally cast. After this, committee clerk will tally the votes and advise the chair of the number of votes been cast for or against the motion, and I'll then indicate whether the motion has been carried or defeated. And any of the details of the vote will be recorded in minutes. Straightforward? All right, we're going to ramble through this really quickly. Subcommittee on committee business. Honorable Member Standing Order 52.0113 requires that all legislative policy committees appoint a subcommittee on committee business at their first meeting. The subcommittee on the committee business is meant, is on the business to meet from time to time at the end of the call of the chair to report in the committee on the business of the committee. The committee is able to task subcommittee on committee business to work on matters that will assist in the committee and organize and complete its work. Are there any questions or comments in relation to establishment of subcommittee on committee business? Swimmingly. Questions, comments? Well, I have a draft motion, if we're so inclined. And does anyone want to be bold enough